In the UK, we're now 3 weeks into the coronavirus lockdown, and they've just announced that there's an extension to that, which is a minimum of another 3 weeks. Now, up to this point, people have been focusing on asking the question, how do we keep ourselves physically safe? And of course, that's a vital question to be asking. But now, more and more people are starting to ask the question, what are the implications to our mental well-being? Human beings are social beings. We need interaction with people. And as much as we should be grateful that we've got things like Zoom and FaceTime and WhatsApp, it isn't the same. We need to have physical interaction with people. And people are not getting that. We're not getting to see sometimes our parents, our children, our friends. We're not getting to be in the room with them, and we're not getting to hug them. And these are things that as human beings we need, and we're just not getting right now. Then there's a loss of freedom, and we usually associate that with being punished, yet we've done nothing wrong. We've always taken for granted that we can go out where we want to, when we want to, and do what we want to. And we've probably never considered that there might be a time when that was not able to happen. So these are tough times, and we need to be tough to get through them. Let me give you a few ideas of how we can stay mentally tough in these times. Now, most of these are very obvious. You've probably thought of them and you're probably doing them. And then there's one idea that was sparked when I read a very moving story in a book the other day, and I think it might be useful for you. The first thing that we need to do is to regulate what we're putting into here. There's so much negativity around at the moment. Now, more than ever, we've got to be conscious that we put positive stuff in there to counterbalance that. Now, there are a lot of groups on Facebook that have been set up just purely for spreading positivity. Go and join some of those. It might be a temporary thing, but it's going to really help you right now. And sure, we need to keep an eye on the news because we need to know what's happening. But glance at it. Don't read it in detail and then reread it over and over again. And then if there's people that you're friends with on Facebook who are posting doom and gloom like a lot of people are, hit the snooze button. Hit that button that says, I still want to remain friends with you, but I don't want to see posts from you for the next 30 days because you don't need that kind of stuff in your life right now. Keep reading and listening to positive, uplifting stuff. Chicken Soup for the Soul, The Daily Stoic, Don't Sweat the Small Stuff. Keep listening to Les Brown and Jim Rohn and Tony Robbins. If you have acid indigestion, you take an antacid tablet, which is an alkali, and the alkali neutralises the acid. Listening and reading this positive stuff at the moment is the alkali to the acid of all the stuff that's going on around us at the moment. Daily gratitude is a really powerful thing, but there's something you can be doing that's even more powerful than that. I read the other day about a lady named Lilly Aebuts who was an Auschwitz survivor, and for many years they survived being given only a small piece of bread to eat every day. And Lilly said that most people, when they were given this piece of bread, they would devour it instantly because they were starving. But Lilly did it differently. She took a piece of bread and she tasted it and she savoured it. And even more remarkably, even though she was starving, she saved half of it until the morning so that she had something to look forward to. On top of that, she kept asking herself over and over again, what is the good that's going to come out of this situation? And the only thing that she could come up with was that this is going to make me a stronger person. And when I get out of here, I'm going to use that strength to tell the world about what's been happening here to make sure that it can never happen again. Even in her darkest moment, she was looking for the good that was going to come out of it. We can learn from Lilly there. We can keep practicing our daily gratitude, and I'm a big advocate of that. But on top of that, we can ask ourselves, what are the good things that have happened since this outbreak started that wouldn't have happened without it? What are the positive benefits? For me personally, a lot of these benefits are around family. Normally, during the day, my wife's at work, I'm at work, my children are at school, and we don't have a lot of interaction. But because we're all at home, we're having a lot more little moments together that we wouldn't normally have. And then the other day we were all in the kitchen just chatting because we were bored, and then suddenly I don't even remember why we were all laughing uncontrollably. And that's one of those things that's going to turn into a very special memory. And a lot of the things that do become special memories are not the big things in life. They often are those little things that happen unplanned. And without this coronavirus thing going on, that moment would never have happened. I've reconnected with lots of friends that I haven't spoken with for a long time, and that's because we've got time on our hands that we don't normally have. So one or the other of us has reached out and said, "Hi, how are you doing? How are things? How's life? What's been happening for you?" And in a couple of cases, that's resulted in a 2-hour FaceTime call and really reconnecting with people. And that wouldn't have happened without the lockdown. I guess what I'm really saying here is something that you've heard over and over again since you were a child, and maybe heard that many times that it can become one of those trite little sayings. And that is that every cloud has a silver lining. Start looking for those. As a final thought, I know there are a lot of people at the moment who are being badly affected by this. Some people are being ill themselves, some people are losing their livelihoods, and some people are losing people who they love. And thinking positively is not going to change any of that. Asking you to think of silver linings at the moment might feel like a drop of warm water in an ice cold bathtub, and that it's not going to make any difference. But collecting those little moments, perhaps those little interactions with loved ones, is very, very important, because at some point this is going to be over, and there might be things that will never be undone. But there will be good things in life again. And having these little moments to look back on, you can find a few of them, you might even find many of them. Having them to look back on may not change things, but it might take the sting out of things a little bit for you. Please share in the comments your thoughts and your ideas about how you're protecting your mental well-being during these times. Let's learn from each other. Stay safe, and I'll see you soon.